Whipper In. Newly added to the payroll, Betty Franklin had served as an honorary, which means amateur, whipper-in for decades. Betty and her husband faced tightened financial conditions thanks to the sinking economy and the fact that they owned a printing press. Few people patronized true presses anymore, so after much discussion, Sister and Walter had worked out the necessary details to give Betty a salary of $25,000. The good woman wept at the offer, tried to refuse, but the two masters insisted. That $25,000 kept the wolf from the Franklins' door. "Sugar, if you have truly lost it, I will buy you another," said Jane. "I didn't," he insisted. "It has to be here." "Go back over the last time you saw it." "Did that." He rose, kissed her on the cheek, patted his chest pocket. "Damn it! Your language is going to hell." Her cursing as well made them both laugh. "My mother would wash my mouth out with soap." He smiled at the memory of the formidable, late Lou Ann Lorillard, a power in the African-American community long before integration. Nobody messed with Lou Ann without ample opportunity to repent later. "Well, humor me," said Jane. "All right. I was back home the last time I saw the studs. I went to my dresser after packing my clothing in this bag. I opened the top drawer, lifted out my personal case, carried it to the safe behind the painting that Daddy did, opened it, and took out my studs. I opened the little green leather case, counted them, closed it, and put it in my Gladstone bag." "Why don't men say jewelry case?" Jane interrupted. "How many years were you married?" "As I recall, it was 28. Did you ever ask Raymond?" "No, but I didn't talk to Raymond as openly as I talked to you," she said. "Really?" he asked, smiling, liking the compliment. "Really?" "I loved him in my fashion, but it was a different time. Ray had a bombastic streak, which meant he had a difficult time dealing with anything that didn't emanate from him. I lived in D.C. for most of your marriage, but Ray did not strike me as the sensitive or introspective type. How could you stand it?" "I had a son, remember?" This was said in an upbeat tone. Any memory Sister recalled of her son, who died in a tractor accident in 1974, still brought her happiness. She loved Raymond Jr. beyond reason, but then doesn't every parent feel that way? Jane long ago came to terms with his death at age 14, growing determined to live each day with joy. Her son would have wanted that for her, not a lifetime of grieving and anger. "It's not that I forgot," Gray quickly replied. "It's only that I don't associate you with sorrows. You're a force of nature." "You know, that may be the most wonderful thing you ever said to me. Now, back to your studs." "Well, that's the chain of events until now." His hand went to his left pec again. "Do I need to buy you a man bra?" "No," he laughed. "I'm out of cigarettes." "You can't smoke in hotel rooms anymore, at least not in this town. Actually, Gray, you can't smoke in public parks. The list goes on. If the mayor sees you smoking, he will assume you are a lowlife, possibly a cheap criminal. It never occurs to these health nuts the damage they do to others." "You mean the loss of jobs in our state, North Carolina, and Kentucky. Devastation." "That too, but I was thinking about the people who love laws that inhibit other people's choices. Is smoking a good thing to do? No. But those sanctimonious rule-makers live rather luxurious lives. They aren't working on an assembly line or in scorching sun outside. If your job is repetitive and boring or dangerous, sometimes that little hit of nicotine takes the edge off. The people that make the laws go get prescriptions for Prozac. How does anyone know the long-term effects of all that crap?" He blinked, as he hadn't heard her that impassioned in months. In fact, not since a person blundered and turned the fox back towards the hounds at a hunt in November. Fortunately, the fox escaped. Sister and Gray, this January 27th, had traveled from Central Virginia to attend the Master's Ball, an annual extravaganza under the aegis of the Master of Foxhounds Association of America. For 40 years, Sister had attended the annual ball, always at the end of January. She loved to dance, loved to catch up with old friends scattered across the United States and Canada.